Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is going to be a makeup wish list slash will I buy it type video. I've just started filming this sort of series this year. I've only done one video like this before, which I'll link below. And why I'm doing this series is kind of multiple reasons. I am on a budget this year, so I'm sort of like fantasizing and window shopping a little bit. I'm also trying to be a bit more maybe purposeful in my shopping and thinking about what I am buying, particularly because I am on a limited budget. I want to make sure I'm not just buying things out of impulse. I'm actually really thinking about what I'm buying. Is it something I really want? What else do I have in my collection that might be similar? Maybe I don't need it. Maybe even there's another alternative to the product I'm looking at that's maybe more affordable or just better quality sometimes. I'm really trying to be a bit more purposeful with what I'm thinking about when I'm doing makeup purchases. And yeah, it is slightly a will I buy it, because in some cases I actually have bought so far a couple of items that were on my list. I talked about some brow products last time that I ended up buying from NYX. So what I've been doing is been adding to a little running list that I have when I come across something that I'm interested in, that I'm thinking about. I've been kind of recording the price of it at that time, and yeah, then I'm just sort of collectively talking about it. I'm doing this video bi-monthly, just because I feel like it's not a super exciting video for most people. I don't think it is a lot for me, but maybe not the most interesting video for you guys. Also, I do a lot of like panning and budgeting on my channel, so this is kind of like the opposite, and it can be maybe a bit tempting to people. So I totally am not offended if you like don't want to watch this video, want to cut out right now because this might be too much temptation. Yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna sketch over a little so I can put pictures up. I'll put pictures up over here. I've noticed reviewing my list that I've been making over the past little while, which I'm purposely posting this video after the Sephora sale, by the way. Anyway, I've noticed in my little list of stuff that I sort of have categories of things that I've been looking at. So foundation, lip products, eyeshadow palettes, and then kind of some other stuff related to that. So I'm going to start off, I think, with the foundations. So the first foundation that has caught my eye, actually since the beginning, like since it was released, is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Longwear Foundation. A lot of people on YouTube here have been talking about it. A lot of people like really love this packaging with the lid. I think it's a little, I don't know, I liked the old packaging, like the regular packaging with like the black lid. But it's interesting, although apparently the lid, I think there's different colored lids, which I think that's kind of cool. And that looks like it's a fair number of shades. And again, Makeup Forever sort of has like the red, cool, warm, neutral undertones, red, yellow, neutral undertones. Okay, I'm not 100% sure where I left off because I had to go pick up Harley from the groomers. So if I do look a little disheveled, it's because I was out in not great weather. But we're back now. We're back. Hi. So I think I was talking about the Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Longwear Foundation, and I think it was Adriana Matiliano. There was somebody that did a swatch, like kind of a live swatch, like right on the back of their hand. Maybe it was Kathleen Lights. There was somebody, and I was like, even just on the swatch, I was like, that looks really good. Like there was something about the consistency and the way it blended on her hand. Whoever it was like, I'm liking the way that looks. And then since then, a lot of like YouTubers have said that they really, really like it. So I'm definitely super intrigued by that one. The other one that I've been eyeing up is the NARS Light Reflecting Advanced Skincare Foundation. Again, this one just sounds like my kind of jam. It says it's a skincare hybrid foundation with a natural finish that quickly blurs and smooths while visibly improving skin's clarity over time. And I really like that idea of the skincare combined with the foundation, especially as I get older. It's one of those things that sounds like a really good thing. And I've seen, again, a few people swatch this and other people talk about this saying they really, really like it. I think it's a fairly light coverage type foundation. It says coverage medium, but I think it's a light to medium, and that's definitely my kind of jam too. So this one just sounds right up my alley. This one's real pricey though. It's like $65. I don't know if that's Canadian or US. I'm not sure if I'm on the US site right now. But yeah, it definitely looks like one that I am interested in. There's one though that is similar, but I am not really interested in. It's the Kosas one. So the Kosas one talks about also that it has like, sorry, I've got a hair. Also that it has skincare benefits. But again, I've watched a few different people's reviews on that. Mixed reviews on that. Some people seem to really love it. Some people are like, I like the concealer, but I could pass on the foundation. And I think one of the reasons why I don't think I would like the foundation is I think it's a really thin serum type foundation, and it just doesn't sound like my kind of foundation. Like, it just, the more that I see reviews and see people describe the texture and describe the finish, I'm like, I'm gonna pass on that one. It does look like it's, again, one of those, there's something about Kosas branding and the style of their package. It's definitely intriguing. It's definitely like that bright yellow cap. It's nice and fresh looking, but I'm not interested in that one. Let's talk about lip products. Y'all know that this is my Achilles heel. Well, so is blush and so is eyeshadow. But I feel like lip products for me is really the hard thing for me to really like not buy all the things. I want to try all the things and buy all the things. So the first one I want to talk about is Black Moon Cosmetics. And I want to thank Kat from Beauty News on this, because this would not have been on my radar otherwise. I've heard them talk about the brand. I'm pretty sure it's got the eyeshadow that's in like the Half Moon. It's just never been a brand that's really like, I don't know, there's not been a whole lot that at least I thought of that I was really interested in. And then she was talking about, she got sent these Sinister lipsticks. I think that she got sent the whole PR kit, well, like all of them, through PR. And I was like, I really want those now. I mean, they're just a basic lipstick, but she said she really liked the formula. I'm looking at all the colors online. I'm like, I kind of want all of them. Even though there's a few, maybe, I would say maybe the green one, which is Greta, is one that I could probably pass on. And I feel like Trick or Treat, which is the orange one, like the deep orange one. But the one that I definitely want, the one that's like on my like up and up, is Misery. It's like a, I don't know, a grayish brownie mauve. I don't know, I'm just really loving that color. And then I was like, also like the look of Elm Street. Like that deep red. I don't think I have anything like that. Same with Werewolf. It's a really deep brown. I have a couple browns. This one might be similar to ColourPop's Sassy, so maybe I could pass on that one. But there's also the black in Omen, and I'm like, I don't have a black lipstick, and I should have a black lipstick. Why do I not have a black lipstick? I know it's not something I would wear often, but if I had one, I would definitely wear it. And I don't know why I don't have one. I feel like maybe in the past I did, like years ago. But yeah. And then I started browsing through the site, and I'm like, oh, man, there's other things like I kind of want on this website or from this brand. So like, what was the one thing I was looking at? They have these like little lipstick bundles, and they call them mini moons, and I'm like, I kind of love that. There's like a nude trio, a nude light to medium trio. There's also a nude deep trio that looks really nice. I was just like, yeah, I kind of want to buy these. But I probably shouldn't. I don't know the quality of the product. I don't know if people really like them or not. And then same thing with eyes. They've got these cosmic eye dust liquid eyeshadows, and again there's a few shades. Like Nebula looks really, really pretty. Cosmos looks really, really pretty. I'm like, why do I want to buy these things? I don't know. I'm super intrigued by this brand. They don't have a whole lot on their website, but they've got enough little things that I'm kind of interested in. Anyway, if you're curious, I think looks like they're out of California in the States. So that was one lip product that I was really interested in. The other lip product that I'm interested in, which I'm not sure why I'm like looking at liquid lipsticks, because I'm not big into the liquid lipsticks, and I've talked about that in the past. I've kept it pretty small. I've decluttered a few. I got like, 7 2 years ago in my lucky bag, which was kind of bizarre. But I'm not a huge liquid lipstick person. However, I'm super intrigued by getting the Gwen Stefani one. I don't know if I would get the liquid lipstick or if I would get the matte red lipstick. The only reason why I wouldn't get maybe the matte red lipstick, like the actual bullet, is because I do have 714, which I think was her shade in collaboration with Urban Decay, I think. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I'm really eyeing that liquid lipstick in the red shade. She only has the one red shade. I know like there's mixed reviews on it. I don't think it's a full-on super permanent one. Like, you know how some liquid lipsticks are like you put it on, like the Maybelline Stay Matte, those ones you put on and like they aren't moving. Whereas I find other ones, like the Jeffree Star ones I have, they're not fully dry down, if that makes sense. They still have a bit of movement to them. They do transfer ever so slightly, and I think that's what's her shade is like, or her formula is like as well. But yeah, I'm intrigued by that. It is, what's the price of it? It's $31 Canadian, which is kind of like, bit pricey. The other lip product, I think I talked about this last month, was the Makeup by Mario. I'm forgetting the name of that. Did I talk about that last month? Yes, I did. Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum. The other one, though, that's on my radar that everybody's comparing it to is the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Balm, and then there's the Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. I think a lot of people like the Lip Plump ever so slightly better. I've been looking at the two of them, and they seem super comparable. A lot of people have said formula-wise they feel really similar. In Canada, they're the same price. They're both $29, and there is ever so slightly more product in the Makeup by Mario one. However, all of the shades are like sold out except for one, whereas the Tarte one, I think, oh no, they're all sold out now except for one. So never mind. I was like, maybe I get the Tarte one because they're in stock, but no, never mind. All out of stock. But yeah, I would really like to buy one of these. I really like to try one of them. Maybe I will wait till like the fall sale. Yeah, it just seems like a product that is really my type of product. I'm really liking, I mean, I've always been a lip gloss person. I'm a lip person. I love all the lip products, but I've always been a lip gloss person, and I feel like I'm liking more thicker formulas, things that feel really nice on the lips, not just a basic lip gloss. I'm liking some that are a little more, have a little more oomph to them than I ever did in the past. Before in the past, I would just like, you know, throw on a thin layer lip gloss and away you go, whereas now I'm liking the ones that feel nourishing and feel a little bit better. Maybe it's been because I've been trying lip oils, so I'm just getting a whole different experience now. And lip products have changed. There's so many new formulas and so many different kinds now that yeah, and I think I would probably maybe choose the lip plumper one over the regular one. I don't know. They seem kind of pretty much the same, so I'm not sure which one I would pick. Probably maybe would come down to what's in stock in terms of shade. I'm just kind of got to look at the other ones, see what the shades are. So the regular one is in stock, and there's a clear one in the regular one, but I don't know if I'd bother with that. It's one of those products too, like I kind of want all the shades. Like I don't know which one I would pick, to be honest. Maybe that's something I would have to go in store and actually see the shade colors, because I'm not sure online does them justice. And then there were two sort of lip sets, or well, one was a lip full-on lip set, the other one had a lip product. So the first set that I've been looking at is the Lawless Forget the Filler, the Perfect Lip Plumper set. It comes with the overnight mask as well as the, what do they call it? Mini lip, it comes with a mini lip plumping gloss in Rosy Outlook. And I kind of like that. You get a mask and you get to try out the actual formula, because if I don't really like the actual formula, although I've heard really good things about it, so I feel like I would. And again, it's another lip gloss. It seems like it's got a bit more oomph to it, a little bit more hydrating. It has shea butter and hyaluronic acid, so again, I feel like it's more than just a make your lips look shiny kind of gloss. It's got something to it. The other thing that I was looking at, I'm just going to see if it's still there, because if it's not still there, then it doesn't really matter. But if it's still there, this is the one thing that I almost bought. Okay, I'm not seeing it online, so it must be, doesn't exist anymore. Was the duo from Tower 28 that had, I think it was pistachio in the lip gloss, and then it had the blush in Magic Hour. I almost bought that. I really wanted to get it, and it was just one of those things that I was like, you know, I had a really limited budget. I only had $40 to spend in April, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I should buy this or not. I thought maybe if something that still exists around my birthday, it would be a nice treat for a birthday gift for myself. And now that I'm seeing it's not on the website, it doesn't look like it's on the website. I'm a little disappointed. Maybe it's still in store. But that duo seemed like a really, really good duo. It was like a really good deal because I think they were both full size as well. So let's talk eyeshadow palette. So if you've been on YouTube in the past month or so, you maybe have heard about this one. Sorry, it's so lame. It's the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2, the rose shade one, the eyeshadow palette. And I really wanted to get this at first. Like I saw it and I was like, yes, like it went on my list. It's one of the top things on my list to talk about. And now, to be honest, not so much now. And I'll kind of explain why. So first of all, it's $87 Canadian. Like that's a pricey one. And I have bought palettes that expensive. Like I bought the Huda Beauty one, which was pretty expensive. And I bought not the retro one, the glam palette I think the glam palette from Natasha Denona was about $87. It was expensive. It was up there. So it's a lot to spend. And then I've been watching, like, I mean, you couldn't avoid seeing somebody talk about it at some point, but I actually did purposely go through and try and find some people who are doing specific reviews on the palette, doing swatches on the palette. Everybody seems to really like it. It does look beautiful. It does look really nice. I like the way it looks. However, in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to buy the Too Faced, I don't know what it's called. I don't know if I have it listed. The Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes eyeshadow palette. So that palette is $65, so you already have a price difference. And they're both in sort of a rosy toned family. And from what I understand, the only person I know that's talked about this that really likes this, again, is Kat from Beauty News. I think we have some similar tastes in some of our makeup items. She's talked about sort of the formula of this, like the shimmers being a bit more than just like a metallic, but having a bit of texture. Well, some of them have a bit of texture. And again, she said the quality is kind of okay. It's good. It's maybe not super great. But I was looking again at swatches and I'm like, the Born This Way sort of leans lighter, whereas the Patrick Ta one leans deeper and richer. And I know myself, I like lighter tones. I have really deep set eyes, so I find sometimes if I go too deep on my eyes, it just disappears. You lose the shadow, you can't see what's going on, whereas I feel like I like to have some lighter shades to sort of bring my eyes out a little bit better. They don't look so deep set. I mean, not that it really looks deeper set or not, but I don't know. It's just a preference. When I look at myself in the mirror, I tend to prefer to like lighter eyeshadows, especially on a day-to-day basis. So I feel like the Too Faced one overall is probably more practical for me. I was also trying to compare size. They don't have, for whatever reason, the Patrick Ta palette doesn't mention on the website the size, like either on his website or on Sephora. But I did go and look at Tara Baby's video where she talked about the palette, because she usually talks about sizes, and I think when I added it all up, there's much more product in the Patrick Ta one versus the Too Faced one, so you are getting more product. It probably works out price-wise fairly, like per gram or whatever, fairly close, I think. But again, I've talked about this in the past, that I've got a billion eyeshadows. I'm cool with smaller shadows. I don't need a whole lot. Doesn't really bother me that there's not a crap ton of shadow. I mean, there's a certain point. Like, you don't want teeny tiny little pans and pay like $100. But yeah, so, and then the third thing, or I don't know what number I'm on right now, but the other thing is I can also buy this palette, the Too Faced palette, at Shoppers Drug Mart. So Shoppers Drug Mart is the drugstore here in Canada, and it's kind of like Ulta where you have points. So I have Shoppers Drug Mart points that I've been sort of hanging on to, and eventually I will use them. And I could get this palette with points if I wanted to. Whereas the Patrick Ta one, I definitely cannot get that one with points. And I am just like a VIB. I'm not Rouge, so I can't get 20% off. But I can get 15% off the Patrick Ta one. So I've kind of been going back and forth and back and forth. And I don't know if that is a fair comparison to compare those two palettes. But I think overall, long term, I might be happier with the Too Faced one. Even though, like, I look at the Patrick Ta one and it looks beautiful. And again, I've looked at the original one and I think I would like the rose one better than the original one, to be honest. Like, the original one, it's fine. It's just neutrals. It's a bit warm leaning. Again, the rose one looks like it's a bit warm leaning. But again, like I said, it looks a lot deeper. Like, when I started looking at swatches, I'm like, those swatches are pretty deep. There's not a lot of light tones. That was another thing that Tara Baby said. So she always looks for, or she likes to have one lighter shade in her palette. And I'm kind of the same way, to sort of lighten up a look, like inner corner or brow bone. And she even said the Patrick Cha 2 doesn't have that shade, where the number 1 palette does have a shade like that. So I don't know, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that. Like, am I crazy? Am I just looking at the price and being like $87? Oh my god. But yeah, I just feel like maybe the Too Faced one. I mean, it's got a pretty high rating. It's got 255 reviews on Sephora with a 4 out of 5 star rating. I mean, it's an older palette. I think it came out in 2020. But yeah, I don't know. That one's on my radar, even though it's an older palette, over the Patrick Ta one now. The other palette that I was eyeing that, I mean, there's no point in even talking about it now. I don't even know why. This is why I don't own any of these products, because I'm not good at buying something right away. I wait on everything. But the one that I do like the look of, and again, it's in a similar family, is the NARS Summer Unrated Eyeshadow Palette. It's already sold out. Like, and NARS always does that. They have like super limited edition runs, and then it's gone. And then every once in a while, 2 years later, you'll find that palette at like Winners. And I'm like, ah! I actually have seen one NARS palette at Winners that I really did. At the time, I was like, I should have bought that. Like, I'm regretting that I didn't pick it up. Don't know what palette it was now, but it was a similar type, like neutral type palette. And I've always wanted to try a NARS palette. I know it's hit or miss. I think some are really good quality, some are not. But this one, again, the color story is just sort of right up my alley. This neutral, rosy tone, everyday. And again, this one leans a little lighter, like it's a little softer, and I think that's really more my style, like my day-to-day style. But again, this one's pricey at $78. So again, like if I come across this one at Winners or Marshalls, I doubt again, like the style of this palette I feel like would be pretty popular. I can't imagine this one there being extras that somehow make their way to Winners or Marshalls, but if it does, this would be one that I think I would definitely pick up if I saw it. So speaking of Winners or Marshalls and picking up palettes if I saw it, I, like a lot of other people, are bizarrely on the hunt for BH Cosmetics things. Even though they are, like, done, there's palettes that they have that I regret not getting. So if I do see ones that I had, like, either in my mind or that I've written down that I want to get, I'm going to pick them up. Budget be damned. Because again, I know like they are sort of done, they're technically like limited edition now, but they are affordable and the quality is good, and there's a handful that I do really feel like I miss out on. The one that I really would like to get is the Blueberry Muffin one. Makeup by Mariella always talked about that one and she really liked it, and the color story of that I think I would totally jive with. It's a cool color story. It's got blues in it, but they're sort of like murky, deeper blues, which I've learned that I really like that on my coloring and my skin tone. I think it looks really good on me. And it's a safe color zone for me. Like, it's comfortable for me to wear on a day-to-day basis, even though it's color. So if I came across the Blueberry Muffin one, for sure. Definitely some of those travel ones too. I regret, I did see the Switzerland one, I think it was, like 2 years ago. Sometime mid-pandemic anyway, I did see it and I put it down again because I was on a budget and I'm like, maybe I'll see it later and I'll buy it another time, and I didn't buy it. The other one that I really think I would like, again though it's colorful, but I think it would be something that I could jive with, is the Los Angeles one. It's like a pastel-y colorful one. So yeah, if I come across like any of the palettes that I was eyeing in the past from BH Cosmetics, I would definitely buy. The other thing that I haven't seen here, but if I did see, was some of the Makeup Revolution Simpsons collection stuff. There was I think a face palette that had highlighter, blush, and bronzer. If I saw that, I would definitely buy that. And there was a couple, not all the things from that collection, but there was a couple things. I mean, I grew up on The Simpsons. The Simpsons, I mean, it's funny watching it now, because so The Simpsons, I remember when The Simpsons were on, oh my god, I can't even remember her name. Just the other show. They were like a skit part on another show, and then they got their own show after that. And it's weird that I was like 8 or 9 when that show started. It's like, you know, I kind of grew up with it. So I kind of have like a connection with The Simpsons. I think a lot of people do. I mean, there's like 20 seasons or something. The show has been around forever. So yeah, that's another thing that if I saw those, I would potentially buy. So speaking of, I guess, collections and branding, the other thing that I have on my list, and when I saw this, I'm like, I want all of it. I want to buy all of it. and it's the Wet n Wild Care Bears collection. Now, I have seen some reviews from people talking about some products. Actually, I think I've seen pretty much reviews on everything in the collection, and the quality seems kind of like meh. And I'm not too thrilled that the eyeshadow palette has pressed glitters in them. I'm like, why did you do that, Wet n Wild? Nobody wants that. But I'm not gonna lie, I still want it. I still want most of that collection. At least maybe a few things, maybe not everything. Like, I was thinking, well, maybe the highlighter or the blush, maybe one of the lip glosses, maybe the lip scrub, because I don't have a lip scrub. There was also a cleansing balm that looks super cute. So again, that was another show I grew up with. And now I'm kind of getting some of the sort of branding stuff that people are like, go hype for. I feel like a lot of the branding stuff that has come out, I just don't relate to. And I've realized, I was kind of looking up like, why didn't I really connect with, what was it, Lizzie McGuire? And then there was something else. And I'm like, oh, because I was like 20 when that show came out. So no wonder why I didn't really like resonate with any of it. The Hello Kitty stuff for sure. Like, I love Hello Kitty. But there's a lot of like those collaboration things that I just was like, eh. Whereas Care Bears, like Care Bears was my jam. I remember watching that pretty much every morning before school. So there used to be a show on before that called Hercules, which was like in syndication because it was from the 60s. Did not like that. There's the weird, annoying little like fawn character that was like, Herc, Herc, Herc. Bop him in the nose. That kid was annoying. I don't really like that show, but right after that was when Care Bears came on, I think. I think that was the order of the shows. So I watched Care Bears like every morning before going to school. I've probably seen every episode like multiple times. I actually just rewatched a couple like bits and pieces of episodes on YouTube, just like for nostalgia reasons recently when the collection came out. And yeah, now I get it. Now I get why certain collaborations with like brands, like, what is the word? There's a word I'm looking for. That brand is not the right word, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like there was the Batman one. There's been a few. There's been a million. Like pretty much everything. Like all the Friends things. Which I watched Friends, but I don't have that same kind of feeling about Friends. Hi, what's going on? But yeah, if I could, I would get the whole Care Bear set. It's already sold out on the Wet n Wild site. Again, one of the only reasons why I haven't bought it is the price, and I don't need all of it. I looked at one Walmart. I've only been to Walmart once since that collection came out, and I looked for it there. It wasn't there. I don't know if it is going to be in Walmart in Canada. Apparently it will be on Amazon. Again, don't know if it'll be on Amazon in Canada. But yeah, if I come across that collection, I might buy a couple of things. Speaking of collections and wanting all the things, the last thing I'm going to talk about is Clionadh Cosmetics. And Clionadh Cosmetics did a collab collection called the Dragon Fruit Collection. So there's a bunch of stuff in it. There is an eyeshadow palette, there is 2 highlighters, 2 nail polishes, a brush set, and a cosmetics bag. They sort of released it slowly, like they announced individual pieces. So they first released, I think it was the highlighters. And it's funny because they talked about one highlighter being more for like light skin tone and one for being for darker skin tone. I like the darker skin tone one because I want to use that for eyeshadow. It's like a purpley pink. It's like, looks like it's a pink base with like a purpley blue shift. Looks beautiful. I think it would be a really beautiful eyeshadow. And then they had the nail polishes. I was like, I kind of like both. I like both. I kind of want both. I don't know. Like, I kind of waver between them. Like, I think I want the one, and then I look at the other and think I want the other. They kind of correspond. They're very similar to the highlighters. And I'm like, well, you know, if I get one, I'm going to feel like FOMO with the other. So maybe I should get both. And then they released the palette. And I have, like, super mixed feelings about the palette. I kind of really want the palette, but then I'm also like, so one thing, again, price. I think the palette is, like, $70-something Canadian. Yeah, $74.99, so $75 Canadian. Again, pretty pricey palette, but it looks beautiful. Like, I'm looking at all these shades and I'm like, I kind of want all of them. Again, it's going to totally blow the budget if I buy this palette. Then also, okay, the other thing too is And every time I look at the swatches, there's only 2 shades. There's like a yellow shade and a green shade, and y'all know those are not really my jam. Although the yellow shade I might actually kind of like, but the green shade, I'm just not really into greens. Those are there's only 2 shades in it that I'm kind of like meh on, but the rest of it, I'm like, oh, I really like this. Although I also know myself, this has a launch date. I don't know if this video will go up before or after this, but the launch date is April 27th. I'm not good with these things. I'm a waiter. I wait, I think, way too much about stuff. I overthink things a lot. So guaranteed I'm not going to catch this and it'll sell out. So it's not really going to be a big deal anyway in terms of my budget, because I'm probably not going to be able to get it anyway. And like on one hand too, like I want to support Clionadh Cosmetics because they're actually local to me. They're a Toronto-based makeup company, which there's not a whole lot here based here. So I kind of want to support them, but at the same time, I think about like they're gonna sell out of everything. So do I need to support them? Because I think they're good now. I think they got lots of support. A lot of people already know about them and like their products. So it's not like they really need me to buy it, but I would really like it. The only other thing was, so this is a collection in collaboration with Emily Violet Marie, and I'm gonna get flack for this probably, but whatever, I'm gonna say it anyway. It's an odd collaboration. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna say what I'm thinking because I don't know if anybody else is thinking. And again, this is no shade to Emily Violet Marie, no shade to Clionadh, but I don't really get it. I think there would be a lot of other people I could see them collabing with instead. I was like, again, I don't know Emily. I never heard of her before until this, but I mean, that's like a lot of people. I mean, there's so many influencers out there. Like, nobody knows about me. It's fine. I get it. It doesn't matter. I'm not stressed about that. But yeah, like there's just other people that come to mind. Like Lauren May Beauty, I know she really talks a lot about Clionadh, even Terror Babies, although I don't know if Terror Babies would collaborate with anybody. She doesn't, I don't think, collaborate with people. But yeah, I just feel like there's other people that come to mind that I think would have been a collaboration. And so then again, I was looking into this Emily Violet Marie, and I was like looking at her YouTube and looking at her Instagram. She doesn't really post a lot. So again, I'm like, what am I missing? Is she a TikToker? Is that it? That's my final conclusion, that maybe she's really big on TikTok, because I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. Like, if people are really big on TikTok, I don't know who they are. But that's the same as anything else, right? Like, there's a lot of people that don't watch YouTube. There's a lot of people that don't use Instagram or even Twitter. Although I don't know if there's a lot of makeup people on Twitter that are like only big on Twitter. I think that's an odd combination, because like there's some people that are really big in makeup but only on Instagram, or some people really big on makeup but really only on YouTube. And again, I know that there are people like that on TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I see videos. I feel like I'm overwhelmed already with social media that I don't want to add another one to my life. But yeah, I don't know. Am I the only one that's kind of like, oh, like I'm really happy for her. I think it's great. I don't know the connection. Like, does anybody know what, like, the connection is? Why they picked her, where that came from? I'm just curious, because it wasn't obvious to me. Not that it really matters. It doesn't really mean anything. But it's very interesting, because I think it's the first collab that Clionadh has done as well. Like, I know they've done... I guess that's not the first collab, because they did their set last year. I actually bought that set that had a bunch of individual people that sort of picked a shade and they put the bundle together. Again, I missed that in the first go round and was like, are you guys bringing that back? Because I kind of wanted it. I just was slow. So I'm kind of hoping that with this palette, because I have a feeling it's going to sell out and I'm not going to get it. So I'm hoping they do like a second round of it, perhaps, for us slowpokes that just are hesitant about things, okay? That's really all it is. I'm not quick on the draw. So yeah, that's my makeup wish list / will I buy it for like the past month and a half, 2 months kind of ish. I just wanted to talk about some makeup items that are on my mind. I'm curious to know like what's on your radar. What are some items that you're really looking at? I mean, there's more. Like there's other things that I see all the time. Just quickly thinking of it, like the Buxom blushes. Always wanted to buy one of those, haven't bought one of those. Lip products galore. Every time I see a new lip product, I want it. Gotta chill at the time. Again, sometimes eyeshadows, I see some people buy some stuff, especially a lot of the indie brands. I feel like it's easier in the States for you guys to buy from indie brands. It's a little harder for us in Canada to buy from indie brands. It usually costs a little bit more. Customs are always a scary thing. Takes a lot longer to get to us. So, and I'm always nervous about that, like, especially eyeshadows. You're buying eyeshadows and they gotta come, like, cross-border. It's a long trip for those tiny little pans of colored powder to be safe in. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye. Okay, Harley had a haircut, and this is the size of his head. It's not nearly as big as it looked before. Hi. Hi. Oh, you smell so good. You smell so clean. Yeah. He looks like a different dog. Okay, I know you want down. You want down, don't you? Yes, okay.